Level 1, Trash, Honda Civic Type R. It arrives wearing a body kit that looks like it was designed by a teenager's Forza Motorsport save file. Fake vents, triple exhaust tips, and a wing that air traffic controllers can spot from 3 miles away. Underneath all that visual chaos sits a front-wheel drive hatchback with a turbocharged 4-cylinder making 315 horsepower. Honda calls it extreme. Physics calls it torque steer waiting to happen. It laps Nürburgring impressively for what it is, but for what it is carries all the weight. The engine screams to redline with genuine enthusiasm, the chassis handles better than any front drive layout has a right to, and Type R badges carry genuine Honda performance heritage. But extreme? You can daily drive it to Costco. Your insurance company barely notices. Toyota GR Supra. It walked back into the automotive world wearing the name of a legend and carrying a BMW parts bin under the skin. Toyota partnered with BMW, borrowed the Z4 platform, tuned it their way, and slapped Supra badges on it, hoping nostalgia would override the fact that this is a collaborative corporate product rather than a pure Toyota vision. The straight six makes proper power and the chassis delivers genuine driving engagement, but none of it feels designed to push boundaries. You can spec it with an automatic transmission and heated seats. It has a warranty and complies with every pedestrian safety regulation. Toyota built a very good sports car and called it extreme because the marketing team needed something to work with. Before we hit level 2, make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell. We're diving into some seriously extreme territory, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Level 2, Bad, Dodge Challenger, Hellcat. It represents American muscle's refusal to evolve past the 1960s formula. Take the biggest engine available, stuff it into a body designed during the Obama administration, add some stripes, and send it. The supercharged 6.2-liter Hemi makes 717 horsepower, which sounds extreme until you realize it's pushing 4,400 pounds of retro-styled muscle car. The Hellcat perfectly embodies the problem with straight-line obsession. Yes, it's absurdly fast in a straight line. Yes, the supercharger whine is addictive. The brakes fade after one hard stop. The suspension was never designed for this power level. Nissan GT-R. 20 years ago, this car redefined what was possible at its price point. The twin-turbo V6 delivered supercar performance for Corvette money, and the all-wheel drive system made heroes out of mediocre drivers. Magazine covers called it Godzilla, and the world agreed. Then Nissan kept selling essentially the same car for 2 decades, while everyone else evolved around it. Current GT-Rs carry updates and more power, but the core experience ossified somewhere around 2012. The dual-clutch transmission clunks in parking lots. It's fast, brutally fast, but extreme requires more than legacy and acceleration times. Level 3, Mid, Porsche 911 GT3. It takes everything Porsche learned from decades of racing and distills it into a naturally aspirated flat six that screams to 9,000 revolutions per minute. The GT3 exists in that perfect middle space, civilized enough to drive across the country, extreme enough to embarrass dedicated track cars when you arrive. The PDK transmission shifts faster than thought. The aero generates real downforce, and the chassis communicates with clarity. Yes, it's faster than most drivers will ever explore. Yes, the engineering is exceptional, but you can order one through a Porsche dealer, finance it like a normal car, and drive it to work every Monday. The GT3 walks right up to the line of truly extreme Chevrolet Corvette Z06. The flat-plane crank V8 screams to 8,600 revolutions per minute, generating 670 horsepower, wrapped in carbon fiber aero that generates real downforce at triple-digit speeds. Chevy took the C8 platform and asked how close they could get to supercar performance while keeping the price under $120,000. It delivers legitimate supercar performance with an American price tag and warranty, which sounds perfect until you realize that's exactly what keeps it from true extremity. Real extreme machines require sacrifice. The Z06 offers compromise-free performance with a comfortable interior, daily drivable dynamics, and dealer service that won't require a second mortgage. Level 4. Okay. McLaren 765 LT. The letters stand for long tail, McLaren's designation for track-focused variants that strip weight, add power, and laugh at streetcar compromises. 755 horsepower from a twin-turbo V8, carbon fiber everywhere weight could hide, and active aerodynamics that adjust faster than drivers can process what's happening. The 765 LT exists to chase lap times. McLaren removed the sound system, lightened everything that didn't affect performance, and created a car that makes no apologies for being uncomfortable on normal roads. It has air conditioning, a warranty, and passes emissions. Ferrari 488 Pista. Ferrari took the 488 GTB and applied their special series treatment. More power, less weight, track-focused aero, and a price premium that could buy 3 base Corvettes. The twin-turbo V8 screams to redline with the kind of mechanical fury that Ferrari reserves for cars wearing their racing legacy. 710 horsepower channeled through a dual-clutch transmission that executes shifts with violent precision. Every input feels hyper-responsive. The Pista wants to lap circuits and set records, and it tolerates road driving only because regulations require it. True extreme cars don't tolerate street use, they barely acknowledge it exists. The Pista is exceptionally fast while remaining fundamentally civilized. Level 5. Good. Porsche 911 GT3 RS. Where the standard GT3 balanced performance and usability, the RS throws usability out the window at 150 miles per hour. The naturally aspirated flat-six revs to 9,000 revolutions per minute, generating 518 horsepower, surrounded by so much aerodynamic development that you can hear the air working as speed builds. The front fenders wear vents that actually feed cooling systems rather than just looking aggressive. Porsche's motorsport department doesn't build cars for comfort. They build cars that set lap records, then reverse engineer just enough street legality to sell them. The RS rides on suspension so stiff that expansion joints feel like speed bumps. The interior strips out anything not essential to going faster. The only thing keeping it from level 6 is the fact you can still, theoretically, daily drive it. Lamborghini Huracán Sto. Super Trofeo Homologado translates to, "We took our one-make race car and made it barely street legal." Lamborghini stripped 95 pounds, added race car aero, stiffened everything that could be stiffened, and created what they call a race car for the road. The naturally aspirated V10 sends 630 horsepower through a rear-wheel drive layout. The STO doesn't pretend to be practical. The ride quality will rearrange your spine over rough pavement. The aero creates drag that tanks fuel economy into single digits. The manual steering rack delivers feedback so direct it feels like the front wheels are hardwired to your hands. This is Lamborghini, acknowledging that extreme means sacrifice and building accordingly. Level 6. Great. McLaren Senna, named after Ayrton Senna. 789 horsepower, 1,764 pounds of downforce at 155 miles per hour. The Senna exists for one purpose: being the fastest McLaren around a track, regardless of how that mission affects comfort, beauty, or sanity. Every surface works. The rear wing adjusts through curves, providing stability mid-corner and drag reduction on straights. The hydraulic suspension can go from compliant to rock-hard based on G-forces and driver input. The interior removes anything unnecessary, leaving exposed carbon fiber and controls that assume the driver knows what they're doing. McLaren built only 500, and everyone sold for over $1 million to buyers who understood they were purchasing a track weapon. Pagani Huayra Pagani took their already extreme Huayra and asked, "What if we removed every street-legal restriction?" The R answers with a naturally aspirated V12 built by AMG Racing Division that revs to 9,000 revolutions per minute, generating 850 horsepower. It has no catalytic converters, no mufflers, no ABS, no traction control, and absolutely no interest in meeting emission standards anywhere on planet Earth. This car is track-only, which liberates Pagani from every compromise that limits road cars. The sequential gearbox came from endurance racing. The suspension geometry prioritizes ultimate grip over civil behavior. The carbon titanium monocoque weighs nothing and costs everything. Only 30 exist, each one priced over $3 million. Level 7. GOAT. Koenigsegg Jesko Absolut. Christian von Koenigsegg built a car designed for one specific mission: becoming the fastest production car ever created. The twin-turbo V8 generates 1,600 horsepower on E85 fuel, channeled through a 9-speed multi-clutch transmission on the way to a theoretical top speed over 330 miles per hour. The body is one continuous aerodynamic surface, designed to minimize drag while maintaining stability at extreme speeds. Everything is bespoke. The front splitter generates downforce at speed, then retracts at maximum velocity to reduce drag. The rear wing disappears entirely because at 300+ miles per hour, downforce becomes drag you can't afford. This isn't a car, it's a physics experiment with a steering wheel. Gordon Murray T50. Murray spent his life in Formula One engineering perfection, then retired and built what he calls the greatest driver's car ever made. A naturally aspirated V12 developed with Cosworth that revs to 12,100 revolutions per minute, the highest revving production car engine ever built. 6-speed manual transmission. 3 seats with the driver centered like the McLaren F1 he designed 30 years ago, and a 400mm fan at the rear that actively manages airflow, creating ground effects that adapt in real time to driving conditions. The T50 weighs 2,174 pounds, less than a Mazda Miata, while generating over 700 horsepower. The entire car represents pure engineering unconstrained by marketing departments or cost considerations. Only 100 exist, each costing over $3 million. So if these 7 levels lined up for a single lap around Nürburgring, which car crosses the finish line first? And which one are you driving regardless of the result? Comment below, leave a like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell for more automotive extremes that push the boundaries of what's possible on 4 wheels.